Hello, lovely people. It's another amazing episode on Health Zone. And as I promised last week, today we'll be bringing a guest who will be talking about child diabetes. Yes, I was also shocked when I heard about this particular topic. So I decided to bring on a guest that will tell us more about child diabetes. She's going to delve into it and give us all the factors that we need to know and all the hazards that we need to expect in child diabetes. She works with the Kolebu Teaching Hospital and she is in the person of Mrs. Martha Asabia Labi. Hello, Ma.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much for coming. We know our time wasn't right, but you were able to. Yeah, thank you so much.
I'm honored to be here.
Oh, thank you. So we want to know about diabetes. But first of all, let's talk about you. How long have you been doing this?
I've been working with the hospital for about 7 years now.
Okay.
And then it's not only that's not the only condition that we see. Okay. We see lots of other conditions on the road.
Oh, wow. Then you've really been equipped with a lot of experiences. Okay, so on the job, like when I was thinking about, you told me you were a pediatrician. So I was
a pediatric nurse.
Pediatric nurse. Okay. So I researched a little about it and I realized it's all about children. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, how are you able to? Children don't really talk about their what they feel, and sometimes you don't know how to even describe it. But you are able to do all these things. How do you do it?
Well, in children, we still have the signs and symptoms as well.
Okay.
But most of the children too that we see also have the defect from birth.
Okay.
So it's quite obvious when they are giving birth to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when we are able to know that this child has this defect or that. So from our assessment at delivery and as the child grows up, that is when we are able to know that this child has this condition or that condition, and therefore we are able to help them come out of it. Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, when we say a child has diabetes, what does it mean?
Well, from your preamble, you said we've been talking about diabetes already. So to say a little about diabetes, we want to say that it's a condition where the blood, when we take in food, we are supposed to get the energy out of that food. Okay. There is an organ in the body, in our abdomen, called the pancreas. Okay. And that pancreas is what is supposed to bring out a hormone called insulin. Okay. So when you take in the food, that insulin would help absorb that energy from our bloodstream into our cells, so that we get the energy that we need in order to move about. Okay. So in diabetes, the condition is such that it's either the pancreas is producing less of the insulin or the pancreas is not producing the insulin at all. That is how come the blood is able to stay in the bloodstream, and then we are able to detect that there's a lot of sugar in your bloodstream, and therefore you have diabetes. Wow. So for a child to be known as a diabetic child, it means that he has shown some signs and symptoms of the condition. Okay. Yes.
So how does a child get it in the first place?
So in the children's situation, we have the condition also known as the juvenile diabetes, such that when they are born with it, but it doesn't show until they get to a particular age. And we usually get to that age around adolescent age, which is from 10 to 11 to 19 years. So that's the stage, that's when it shows up. So they show signs and symptoms like they have excessive way of getting food into their system. They are always hungry. They are always thirsty. Because the sugar that is in the body is not absorbed into the cells, and therefore they want more. So you see that your child eats more than necessary. You have to note that your child takes in more water more than necessary. Your child urinates more than necessary. That is when we are able to detect that this child is likely to have diabetes. And so when you come and then we have the diagnostic test done, then we are able to say that you have a diabetes or you don't have. Yes.
So with those of us who are born foodians, like we know that we like food. Everybody knows that we like
so
food.
So it's not like it's only the food.
Okay.
When you talk about science and symptoms, it's a collection of.
Okay.
So you don't have to consider only the food aspect.
Okay.
The child takes in more food. The child takes in more water. The child is eating more, but some signs feel weak.
Okay.
The child is eating more, but is also losing weight.
Okay.
It means that the system is not using what the child is eating.
There's an abnormality.
There's an abnormality there.
Okay.
The system is not using it, and therefore you are able to detect that this child has a problem.
Okay.
And therefore he has to be taken to the hospital to detect it.
Wow. Then there are lots of things that come with
a lot of
child upbringing and all that. So with women who give birth at home, with those women, we say that she's good, she's that. All those situations, how do you get to come out of it?
Well, when it comes to delivery at home, I think that it's gone to a level where now we know that there are lots of older women in the society that are delivering people.
Yeah.
So now I think the government is coming in to also train them. We have detected some in the communities, and we are training them at least. If you are able to do it this way and that way, you don't have the complications. Okay. But we are encouraging mothers as much as possible when you are pregnant to come to the hospital instead of delivering at home. Yeah. Otherwise, if there's any complication, you would have to die or the child would have to die. But in a hospital, maybe something can be done about it. If you deliver at home and something happens, when you come, by the time you get to the hospital, it may have gotten worse. Okay. And so as much as possible, you have to come to the hospital for all your pregnancy period and throughout your delivery, so that you can get yourself and your child.
Okay, there are some situations that some people are trying to avoid the cost of the hospital, and when the factors of the child's father not taking care of the pregnancy and all that. You see, there are people who always factor all those things. That is why they give birth at home. Is there anything that maybe the government or the hospital does for this particular people?
What is being happening now is that the health insurance is helping. Okay. So now, you decided to get pregnant in the first, even if it's an unwanted pregnancy, you are pregnant. Yeah. So when it comes to yourself and your child, as in the things that you have to buy for your child, that is up to you. Yeah. But for the hospital costs now, pregnancy is not that expensive over there because your medications are giving you taking care the insurance, and then your delivery to your insurance. If you're able to have a safe delivery, I think you can manage. Okay.
So with the child diabetes, is there particular stages for the children to live, or there's a particular lifetime? ABR. After finding out, we know that you have this lifespan to live or something.
Well, with that, children's diabetes, it's not curable. Okay. There is no medication that cures it. Wow. No, in diabetes there's no medication. So what we do is we manage it. So when you are detected to have diabetes, you are sent to a dietitian. Okay. Your doctor will also tell you how to check your sugar levels, how to give your injections, how to take your medications, and how to eat well, and as well as exercise, so that you have your system normalized all the time. Yeah. So it is not a condition that is very, very easy for the children. Okay. It's very difficult because you have to be pricking yourself to check your sugars all the time. Your parents will have to get your machine for you, and it's also a little expensive. Wow. You have to get your medications all the time. And children, when they are growing, they want to feel free. Yeah. They want to live a normal life, but they are not able to do that because they see themselves as not normal. Yeah. When you go and play too much and you are hungry, there's a problem. When you go and play too much and you get weak, there's a problem. Yeah. So it's quite difficult for them to go through it, but it comes with more education. So they are educated from time to time, so they don't miss out on their updates at the hospital or their reviews at the hospital. They always have to come. They always have to see their dietitians. They always have to. You have to even involve the teacher in school, so that the child will be able to check his sugars too, know what to eat and what not to eat. So it is not easy for them. It is not easy at all.
So can such a child be classified as a special child?
Yes, they are special children.
Okay.
They are. They need the special attention because if not, anything bad can happen to them.
Wow, so I'm learning a lot today, and I hope you out there is also learning a lot. All our mothers should be able to take precautions for our children. We need to diagnose them and see all the things that we are supposed to do just to make sure that they are healthy. Let's go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll continue with child diabetes. I know you are really interested in this topic. That is why you didn't change the channel. Yes. Thank you so much for staying with us and welcome back from that commercial break. We are still continuing with the topic of child diabetes. Now, our next question is going to be what are some of the symptoms that we are supposed to look out for in our children?
So, in juvenile diabetes or children with diabetic condition, we look out for the way they eat.
Okay.
They have excessive way of eating. We look out for the amount of water they drink. You know, children play a lot, so they may want to take in more water. But you see that your child takes in more water and urinates very often. The urination aspect is also very important.
Okay.
That your child is around 10 years and is still urinating in bed. Okay. Because let's talk about adult diabetes, they have excessive way of urinating. So in the children aspect too, your child is 10 years, you're expecting that by that time the child will not be able to will not urinate in bed. Okay. But the child is still urinating in bed at night. Very excessive, large amount. It is a problem. Your child is eating, but always complains of, "Mommy, I'm weak. Mommy, I'm not feeling okay. Mommy, I'm weak." But you know that your child has taken in a lot of food. It's okay. So why is the child always complaining of weakness? Yes, so those are some of the things that you have to look out for. Your child is eating more, drinking more water, urinating excessively, feeling weak, and also losing weight. Because the sugar is not being absorbed into the cells, they don't grow well. They are always losing weight. But you know that you are feeding your child well. So it means that there is a problem. Wow. So those are some of the signs and symptoms that you have to look out for.
Okay, so the big question is, does prayer cure diabetes? Since you said it is not curable.
The condition medically is not curable. Okay. But God does everything. Yeah. So it's very possible.
It's possible.
God does everything.
So people can take their children to the prayer camp and to the hospital?
They have to take their children to the hospital. Okay. So if you take your child to the prayer camp and you feel that your pastor has healed your condition, go for test. God will confirm it for you if that is it. If the doctor says that, oh, well, your child has, the diabetes is gone, let's monitor for some days, some weeks, and see that the condition is fine. God has done a miracle for you.
Wow. So it is possible.
Well, with God, all things are possible.
All things are possible. So can diabetes affect the behavior and the general growth of a child?
Yes. It's really a problem because, as I said earlier, they don't grow well. Okay. Because the condition is such that it doesn't come out at the early stages. As the child is growing, then all of a sudden it comes out. So you realize that the child will start growing lean, losing weight, because the child has the condition, the sugar not going into the body to bring out that growth factor. And so the child will not grow well. And then because of the condition, when it's diagnosed and you have to go through all those procedures for the child, you maintain the condition, the child's behavior will change. He or she will not feel like a normal child and will not grow like every other normal child, because today he has to do this, tomorrow he has to do that, change medications, give this one, take this food, don't take this food. So he has a lot of things that they have to consider.
Are restricted all the time.
Exactly. So they don't live like a normal life. They have a different behavior altogether. Yes.
So is there any surgery that can be performed on a child for diabetes?
The pancreas, if it gets that stage, no. In Ghana, we usually don't do most of the transplants for us to say that we can give you a pancreas transplant. And I wonder if the hormone would even come off when it takes a no. There is no surgery at all for
such a
condition. It's just the medications and the injections, checking your sugar levels and making sure it's always normal.
So is there any child that can have diabetes without showing any symptoms at all?
Well, from the beginning, you will not see until, as I said, it comes out all of a sudden. That is when you'll be able to know that your child has
really
condition.
Dangerous.
Yes, it is, because all of a sudden you realize that your child is getting leaner, your child is getting weaker, and then you go, some conditions you not detect earlier. So if the doctors that are able to know that the signs and symptoms should go this direction, and so let me check the sugar level to know that if this is a childhood diabetes or not. Otherwise, then it will not be detected.
Let me chip in this story. There's a lady she just completed SHS, and she's in my community, and there's this family diabetic problem.
Okay.
The grandmother had diabetes, the mother also has right now. How is society going to help such children?
Well, our society, we know our stigma situation.
Exactly.
Yes. So for you to say that your child has diabetes, I mean, you can't tell anyone. I mean, they are like,
yeah.
So I think that our society has done very less, or even the education ministry are doing very less in terms of talking about childhood. It's real, it's there. Lots of children have diabetes here.
Wow.
And people are hiding it because you can't tell anyone that your child has diabetes. Unless maybe the teacher or the close relations. And so such children are restricted. They are home. You won't allow that child to go out. What if something happens to your child? Or the child will, children have a way of talking. And we just bring out or anything.
And they wouldn't know the effect of it.
Exactly. People will be like, hey, Akole, what is wrong with you? Why are you saying that? Meanwhile, it may be true. So what we can do is now educate people that there's childhood diabetes.
Okay.
And so people should be aware. Elsewhere, they feel free. Some of the children have tags on them.
Okay.
I'm a child diabetic. So that if you find me, I have collapsed somewhere, you know what to do for me.
Okay.
If you find me that I'm doing this, I'm eating something that prompts me. So they feel free about it. But here, you can't do that.
Okay.
Because when you go and talk about a child having, it's a case.
Yeah.
That you're going to bring some care somewhere, someone have cursed you. So they will not talk about it. So our society should really be educated. Be educated on the fact that children too get diabetes. And it's no fault of theirs. It's something that the cause is actually not known. But they usually come out as the child is born with it. All of a sudden.
Wow. Yeah. With this same girl I'm talking about, she has to handle, the mom has a blue kiosk, as we say, and she has to handle the shop. She has to take care of the mom because she has a very big sore on the leg, and all the time the doctor has to come and inject her and all those things. She's dealing with home, she has to clean the house and all that. Imagine this trauma that she alone, she's a one child, so she's going through all these things. What can you tell her?
Well, I think that she needs support. She can't take it all up.
Okay.
Considering even the wound that is on her, it means that the diabetes is not really being controlled. Because if you get a wound on you as a diabetic, it's very difficult for that wound to heal.
Exactly.
So I think the family needs to be taken through psychologist education so that they can help the child. They can help the lady. Otherwise, all the stress on her would even cause her to even calm down, and anything can happen to her. But diabetes, the stress aspect of it is also a factor. It can also shoot your sugar.
Exactly.
So they need to really help her come out of that situation. The little that she can do, she needs to do it and then rest. Take her medications, eat well, exercise. And even the exercise now, she has a wound on her leg. So I don't think she can do it that much. She has to be just active. So that it will also be a problem to her.
I think she's been told severally that they want to amputate the leg, but she also doesn't want to do it.
Well, it's not easy in our society to do amputation.
Exactly.
So we need to understand her from a certain point. But if it's something that would help her so that the wound will go off, we have prosthesis that even after amputation, she can have it. And then she'll be able to walk normally. Just that maybe she'll have to cover it up because our society doesn't like to see that. So she should agree to it if it will help the wound clear off. Because if not, the wound will spread. It will spread. Diabetes wound, they don't heal easily. So it's either she manages her sugar well, get her medications right, rest, have her right meals, and then get the wound healed. Or if the doctors are saying it's amputation that will help her, she has to agree. After that, she goes for prosthesis and she'll be fine.
Wow. It's been amazing, huh? It's been amazing. And I'm still learning because there are lots of things that I've encountered here today, and it's quite surprising that you wouldn't see on the internet, but you need to have a one-on-one session just to know about all these things. Let's go for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. come back from that commercial break. Thank you so much for staying with us. This is our last question, and I know you want more, but our time wouldn't permit us. So let's ask our final question, and then we are done. Okay, so I wanted to know, with people who already know that their family history is having this particular problem, is there any way that maybe you're getting married, you're supposed to go through all those tests? Are you supposed to tell your partner about all these things?
Well, if you can discuss it, the fact that your family has it doesn't mean you also have it.
Okay.
But you have to take care of yourself, because the fact that your family has it, you are going to
it's
likely have it. So you need to really take care of yourself throughout pregnancy, the meals that you take. You have to exercise more, know what you eat at night especially, so that you don't also get the condition. So we need to tell people that if you know that your mom, your dad, your grandparents had a condition that you know that is quite generational, it means that you need to take care of yourself. Otherwise, the likelihood that you're also going to get it is there.
With pregnancy, there are people who, like, Bibi Abadan Kombia, anything he or she sees, she wants to take it.
Yes, that craving is there because of the hormones that comes into the body. The craving is there, but during schools, we are advised, we are taken through the education that it's not everything that the pregnant will know. If you know that you want your life and you want your baby to also come out healthy, you heed to those advice. So in place of some of the things that you crave for, we tell them to put in something else. So maybe you are craving for that something I love or something, you take in gum. If you are craving for some sugary food, take in maybe a fruit. That is what is going to help. So immediately you have the craving, we are encouraged or advised to take in something else, so that you will not have the urge to take in that which is bad, which is going to affect you or the baby.
Wow. Mrs. Martha, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Do you have any final words for us as to how to take care of our children?
Well, what I want to say is that we need to observe our children. Whatever you see that is not normal on your child, please take the child to the hospital for them to have the proper assessments done, for them to be able to help your child out of the situation. If it's not anything bad, then you are free to go. Even if it's something that it's detected as a child having diabetes, you can still to. It's quite manageable.
This is Health Zone on Perfect Living TV on YouTube. You can find us also on Instagram, PL_TV, and Facebook is Perfect Living TV. Our website is perfectlivingtv.org. My beautiful makeup is by Hermanes, and you can call her on 0240-551-887. 0240-551-887. Health Zone, your health, your wealth.